The movie begins with a cargo plane flying through the sky. This wasn't just any plane, it was carrying highly toxic chemicals. These chemicals were meant to be used for military experiments, but now things are out of control. The plane is crashing fast, heading straight toward the ground. The area where the plane is about to crash is called Raccoon Valley. That's where we're introduced to Michael and his wife, Terry. Michael is preparing to leave the town for 2 days. Before leaving, he lovingly tells Terry to take extra care of herself. That's because Terry is not like everyone else. She cannot hear or speak, so she needs special attention. Michael has never left her alone before, but today he has no choice. He gently tells her, "If you want, you can go stay at your mother's house." So Terry decides to leave and heads back home to get ready. After freshening up, she sets out to visit her mum. At that very moment, we see the same cargo plane flying low above her house, about to crash, but Terry has no idea. Even when she's driving, a warning alert is being broadcast on the radio about the plane crash, but Terry can't hear it. Because of the crash, the toxic chemicals from the plane begin to spread into the air. As soon as Terry reaches her mum's house, we notice dark clouds gathering in the sky. But these aren't just clouds, it's the chemical smoke spreading across the sky. Terry doesn't notice it either. Her mother offers her some food, along with a glass of milk. Meanwhile, her mother drinks water with her meal. What they both don't know is that the chemicals spreading in the valley have already contaminated the water supply. After finishing her meal, Terry returns to her own home. While she's busy doing house chores, a security alert is broadcast across the town. It's a government emergency message saying that a dangerous infection has started spreading in Raccoon Valley due to the chemical spill. The emergency alert also explained the symptoms of the infection, and people were advised to stay at home if they showed any signs. They were told to quarantine themselves. Those who were still healthy were instructed to go to a school in Raccoon, where they would be rescued. As for the infected ones, the only instruction was to stay isolated. Would they be treated? There was no guarantee. In fact, it was clearly mentioned that treatment might not be possible. All healthy people were to be evacuated by the military, but what about Terry? No one knew. No one even thought about it. That night, Terry was about to go to sleep. She noticed that her neighbors were driving their cars at unusually high speeds, but she didn't think much of it. She assumed they were just in a hurry, nothing unusual. Then she saw a man standing strangely under a streetlight, just standing there silently. It made her feel a little uneasy, but instead of panicking, Terry calmly activated her home's security system using her phone and went to bed. Meanwhile, her phone had several text messages coming in, urgent ones, but Terry didn't check them. The next morning, she got up and started her usual routine. While mowing the lawn, she noticed that her neighbor's car door was wide open. Anyone could have easily stolen it. Being kind and responsible, Terry walked over, shut the car door, and rang their doorbell, but no one answered from inside. Still, she didn't think much of it. She couldn't feel that something was seriously wrong in the town. The whole place was strangely quiet, too quiet, but she didn't sense the danger. Since no one responded, she simply parked the car properly in their driveway and went back to her own home. While Terry was walking back home, she noticed a cat on the street. She gently picked it up and took it home with her. Once she got back, she saw that there were many messages from her husband, Michael, on her phone. But when she tried to reply, none of her messages went through. The entire area had lost its signal. Still, Terry thought this was just a temporary issue and didn't worry too much. Later, she made a found cat poster with the cat's picture and started putting it up all around the town, hoping the real owner would find it and come to collect their pet. As she walked through the town, something felt off. No cars, no people. The streets were completely empty, but Terry didn't think much of it. After returning home, she went to take a shower, but suddenly the water stopped running. Even then, she didn't panic. She simply used the leftover water to brush her teeth and got into bed to sleep, still unaware that the water was infected. Just as she was lying down, her phone's security alarm went off. She was alerted that someone had entered her garage. She ran to check and saw that the garage door was open, even though she clearly remembered closing it herself. But the lock wasn't broken. It had just been opened somehow. She tried to call the police, but her phone still had no signal. When she turned back toward the house, she saw something even scarier. Her front door was wide open, even though she had closed it earlier. Whoever it was had now entered her home. Panicking, Terry rushed inside and quickly grabbed her gun. The power had gone out too, so the house was now dark. She reset the security alarm and was about to go to her room to sleep when another alert popped up on her phone. This time, the warning was from the basement. Terry grabbed a flashlight and hurried downstairs to investigate. There, in the darkness, she saw something terrifying, a strange man. But he didn't look like a normal person. His face was twisted and deformed. He was infected, one of the victims of the chemical spread. Though Terry didn't know it yet, the infected man started moving toward her. Terrified, Terry quickly aimed her gun and shot him in the head, killing him on the spot. Now she finally understood. Something was deeply wrong in the town. Terrified, she decided to go to her mother's house. When Terry reached her mother's house, she was surprised to see that the front door was wide open. That felt strange. She went inside and looked for her mother everywhere, but she was nowhere to be found. Then she stepped outside and saw something heartbreaking. Her mother was inside the car, and she had taken her own life. It turned out that her mother had been infected by the virus, and instead of turning into one of them, she chose to end her life before losing her humanity. At this point, we learned something new about the infected people. They were becoming zombie-like creatures, but their minds were still working like normal humans. Unlike the zombies shown in earlier movies, these infected individuals weren't mindless attackers. They retained awareness and sometimes emotions. Terry, still in shock and scared, decided to go find Michael, but all exit routes were blocked. The entire Raccoon Valley had been sealed off by the government. Feeling helpless, Terry returned home. The first thing she did was lock all the doors and windows, trying to keep herself safe. She stayed up all night, waiting for her phone signal to come back, hoping to call for help. When morning came, she decided to figure out what was really happening. She knew the TV might have answers, but the power was out. Thankfully, her house had a generator, which she quickly turned on. As soon as the electricity returned, she turned on the television, and the news told her everything. It was confirmed. The plane crash had caused a chemical blast that released dangerous substances into the air and water. This triggered a virus outbreak, turning people into a new type of zombie. The entire area had been placed under quarantine. The infection was spreading through the infected people and through the water supply. But some people in Raccoon Valley still used underground well water, which was safe. That's when Terry realized why she wasn't infected. Her house was old, and she had always used underground water. Now, understanding the seriousness of the situation, Terry went up to the roof with binoculars to check the town. She saw no normal people anywhere. The streets were empty. Only a few infected individuals were wandering in the distance. She also spotted a drone flying in the sky. It was the government, monitoring and recording everything happening in Raccoon Valley. When Terry came back downstairs, she noticed her neighbor woman. She had fully turned into a zombie, but when she saw Terry, she didn't attack her. That showed one clear thing. Even in her infected state, she still had some control and awareness left. Terry turned on the TV again and saw breaking news about Raccoon Valley. All major roads had been completely sealed, but there was one old road still open, a route that very few people knew about. It was the only way out. Terry now knew that the old road was her only way out. Without wasting any time, she began preparing to leave. She packed a few essential items and made sure to feed the cat that had been staying at her home. Then she opened a window, giving the cat the freedom to leave if it wanted to. Terry drove for a long time on the old road, covering quite a distance. She was just about to leave the city when something unexpected happened. Her car ran out of fuel. Going back was not an option. She would be trapped again, so she decided to walk. Eventually, she reached a farmhouse, and for a moment, she felt a bit relieved. But just like other homes she had seen, this farmhouse was unlocked and empty. She went inside and made her way to the storage area, and that's when she saw the infected owner of the house. He was about to come toward her, but Terry acted quickly, and to protect herself, she shot him with her gun. There, she found a can of fuel and brought it back to her car. She thought it was gasoline, but as soon as she started pouring it into the tank, she realized it was diesel. Her heart sank. All her hopes were shattered. She had come so far to get this fuel, and now it was useless. Her car wouldn't run on diesel. Feeling defeated, she decided to return home. After hours of walking, she finally made it back. And what did she see? That same cat, still sitting there, waiting, just like before. It was another difficult day, like so many others in her life. Sitting there, she began to remember her childhood. Life had never been easy for her. She wasn't always this quiet. She used to talk and listen until a car accident changed everything. That accident had taken away her entire family. It was the most traumatic experience of her life, and it left her deaf. She could still speak, but after the tragedy, she chose silence. Now she sat in front of her piano, thinking of all the voices and memories from the past, her family's laughter, their warmth, gone. As she was lost in thought, her security alarm went off again. She assumed it was another infected person. She picked up her gun and went to check. But this time, what she saw was different. Soldiers had arrived. They were going house to house, eliminating infected individuals. Terry wasn't infected, so she was rescued. Seeing them, she breathed a deep sigh of relief. The officers started asking her questions, but when she didn't respond, they quickly understood. Terry couldn't speak, so they communicated with her by writing on paper, and in the end, Terry was saved.